women and drugs. I'd rather die than tell you.
You're already a dead man.
You'll send your strangers packing, or I will.
You were in a hole, and so was I.
They want us.
Then they're gonna get us.
Thought I'd seen my last firefight.
The trailer for the season finale of Dutton Ranch just dropped, and I am telling you right now, this is not just another preview. This is the moment every single storyline this season has been building toward finally colliding at once. And once you watch this footage closely, you start to realize that nobody on the 10-Petal Ranch is walking away from this finale untouched. The episode is called El Padrino, and that title alone should tell you how deep this story is about to go, because it points directly to a man whose presence has been hanging over this entire season without ever fully stepping into the light. Guns are drawn, loyalties are breaking apart in real time, and secrets that have been buried for decades are finally clawing their way to the surface at the worst possible moment for everyone involved. After everything that happened in episode 8, we thought we understood where this story was heading. Beulah surviving her heart attack, Everett finally opening his heart and promising her a quiet life away from all the violence. It felt like a real second chance for two people who have earned very little peace in their lives. But peace was never going to last on this ranch, and this trailer proves it in the most brutal way possible. Rob Will has tasted real power since Beulah named him her successor, and he is not interested in sharing it or giving it back. Beth and Rip now know the truth about the illegal cattle operation running out of Mexico, the same operation that explains why Wes was murdered and why the foot and mouth disease devastated the Dutton herd in the first place. And once Beth and Rip have that kind of ammunition, there is no version of this story where they hold back. Meanwhile, Joaquin is desperate enough to make a phone call to his father from inside a cemetery, a call that could either save this entire ranch or bring something far more dangerous straight to its front door. Every piece of this trailer is pointing toward one outcome: a finale soaked in blood, betrayal, and revelations that will completely reshape the power structure of this entire world heading into Season 2. Stay with me because I am going to break down every single moment of this trailer and tell you exactly what I think is coming. To understand why this finale trailer hits as hard as it does, you have to go back to the decision that started cracking this entire ranch apart. Beulah naming Rob Will as her successor was always going to set off a chain reaction, but I do not think anyone fully expected just how fast and how ruthlessly he would move once that power was officially his. Rob Will did not waste a single moment proving that he is not someone who plays by anyone else's rules. He has been making bold, dangerous moves since taking control, the kind of moves that make it clear he will crush anyone who gets in his way, including people who have been loyal to this ranch for years. And the most unsettling part of all of this is that Beulah refuses to reverse her decision, even though she knows exactly what kind of threat Rob Will now represents. That tells you something important about where her head is right now. Either she genuinely believes she made the right call and is too proud to admit otherwise, or she is too physically and emotionally drained after her heart attack to fight the consequences of her own choice. What makes this even more complicated is what Beulah said about who she trusts right now. She openly admitted that the only people she truly believes she can rely on are Beth and Rip. On the surface, that sounds like a moment of vulnerability, maybe even comfort, especially after everything she has been through. But here is the problem. Beulah has no idea what Beth and Rip are actually planning behind closed doors. And once you understand what they have just learned, that trust she is placing in them suddenly feels incredibly fragile. Austin's confession is the detail that changes absolutely everything for Beth and Rip. He revealed that the 10-Petal Ranch has been secretly running an illegal cattle operation out of Mexico, and that Wes was murdered specifically because he knew too much about it. That single piece of information does not just explain a murder. It explains the foot and mouth disease outbreak that devastated the Dutton herd, connecting two tragedies that seemed completely separate until now. Once Beth and Rip put those pieces together, they are no longer just protecting their own family. They have proof that the 10-Petal Ranch has been operating in the dark in ways that have directly hurt them, and that kind of betrayal does not get forgiven quietly on this show. It gets answered with action. And that is exactly why this trailer shows Beth and Rip looking more determined than ever. With Rip gripping his gun and Beth working every angle her sharp mind can find to bring Rob Will down completely. They are ready to burn the entire 10-Petal Empire to the ground if that is what it takes, And the unsettling part is that Beulah has absolutely no idea this storm is coming from the two people she just said she trusts the most. Meanwhile, Joaquin is dealing with his own boiling point. He took the murder weapon straight to Sheriff Wade, hoping it would be enough to finally end Rob Will's reign for good. But without an actual body to back up the evidence, the sheriff brushed him off completely. That kind of dismissal would break most people, but for Joaquin, it pushed him somewhere even more desperate. He made a phone call to his father from inside a cemetery, and based on everything this trailer is hinting at, that single phone call might be the exact thing that finally brings this entire ranch crashing down, for better or for worse. Let's talk about why this finale's title matters so much, because El Padrino is not just a dramatic name chosen for effect. It points directly at one specific man, Joaquin's father, Mariano, and the complicated history he shares with Beulah that stretches all the way back to the flashbacks we have been given pieces of throughout this season. And once you start asking the questions this title forces you to ask, the entire story starts to look different. Was Mariano actually killed all those years ago? Or has he been alive this entire time, quietly running the same illegal cattle operation that has been bleeding money and danger into the 10-Petal Ranch ever since? If he is still alive and still in control of that operation, then Joaquin's desperate phone call from the cemetery was not just a cry for help. It might have been the moment that pulled his father directly back into the center of this conflict. And then there is the question that I think matters even more than whether Mariano is alive. Did Beulah adopt Joaquin because she genuinely loved him, or was it payment, a way of settling a debt tied to a murder she committed years ago that Mariano ultimately took the blame for in her place? If that is true, then everything we thought we understood about Beulah's relationship with Joaquin gets rewritten completely. Their entire bond would be built not on love alone, but on guilt, obligation, and a secret she has been carrying for decades, hoping it would never resurface. A title like El Padrino promises to answer exactly these kinds of buried questions, and based on how this trailer is structured, I do not think the finale is holding back on delivering those answers. This also raises the terrifying possibility that whoever steps forward as El Padrino in this finale is not just settling old family business quietly. If Mariano really is alive and connected to powerful people running cattle operations across the border, then Joaquin's phone call could have opened a door to outside forces with real underworld influence, people who would not hesitate to protect Rob Will or settle old debts with violence if it served their interests. That single phone call could end up being the most consequential decision anyone makes this entire season, and right now we genuinely do not know whether it saves this family or destroys what is left of it. Beulah is caught directly in the middle of all of this, torn between the quiet, peaceful future she has just started building with Everett and the dark legacy she spent decades constructing at the 10-Petal Ranch. The trailer makes it painfully clear that her past has no intention of letting her walk away that easily. She has carried these secrets for far too long, and a finale built around the question of who El Padrino really is feels designed specifically to force her to choose between the life she wants and the truth she has been hiding. Now let's dig deeper into what Beth and Rip are actually planning, because this trailer makes it clear they are done playing nice with anyone connected to the 10-Petal Ranch. Once they understood the full truth about the illegal cattle rustling out of Mexico and the real reason Wes was murdered, something shifted in both of them. This is not just about protecting their own family anymore. It is about exposing an operation that has been playing dirty against every other ranch in Texas, including their own, and that kind of betrayal turns Beth and Rip into something close to unstoppable. The trailer gives us quick glimpses of Rip holding his gun with a look of pure determination, while Beth continues digging for every hidden secret that could finally bring Rob Will down for good. They are the two people Beulah says she trusts completely, and that trust is about to be tested in ways neither side is fully prepared for. Joaquin's anger is reaching its breaking point as well, and the trailer hints that he may team up with Rip to physically recover Wes's body so they can finally hand Sheriff Wade real, undeniable evidence. Without a body, Rob Will has been walking around with complete freedom, untouched by the law despite everything he has done. But the moment the sheriff is given proof he cannot ignore, there will be no choice left except to arrest Rob Will and strip away the power he has been abusing since the moment Beulah handed it to him. On paper, that sounds like the move that finally saves this ranch. But it could just as easily push Rob Will into a corner, and a man like him cornered is exactly the kind of person capable of doing something reckless and violent in response. That is exactly what this trailer seems to be warning us about. The chaotic action scenes we see, Everett and Rip grabbing their guns and charging into danger, all point toward Rob Will refusing to go down quietly. If he senses that Beth, Rip, and Joaquin are closing in on him, a counterattack feels almost guaranteed, and that counterattack could put Beulah, Everett, and everyone connected to them directly in the line of fire. One wrong move in this finale, and the entire ranch could explode into violence that makes everything we have witnessed so far look small by comparison. And there is one more devastating possibility this trailer raises that I do not think enough people are talking about. Beulah, physically weaker after her heart attack and emotionally torn between protecting her ranch and protecting the people she genuinely cares about, might turn the tables on Beth and Rip herself. She knows things about their past, about the train station secrets and whatever happened back in Montana. Secrets that could destroy them just as completely as the secrets they are holding over the 10-petal ranch. If Beulah decides to use that knowledge to protect her legacy, both sides end up holding weapons they cannot actually afford to use, creating a standoff where everyone has the power to destroy everyone else, and nobody is willing to make the first move. With Dutton Ranch already renewed for a second season, this finale carries a weight that goes far beyond just wrapping up this year's storylines. We know Beulah will not go down without a fight, and based on everything in this trailer, she may be willing to do things in this finale that completely change how we see her as a character. If she truly believes her legacy and her ranch are worth more than her new relationship with Everett, that choice alone could break her in ways we have not seen yet, and it could permanently alter her relationship with the people closest to her. Rob Will has tasted real power, and everything in this trailer suggests he has no intention of giving it up without leaving bodies behind and the 10-petal ranch in flames. If he launches the kind of counterattack this footage is hinting at, Everett, who just found genuine happiness with Beulah, may be forced to pick up a gun himself to protect her, something that could change his entire arc heading into next season. Carter, who has already been struggling with his own heartbreak, might be forced to grow up faster than anyone expected, the moment violence actually reaches the ranch, and that kind of forced maturity rarely comes without real cost on a show like this. The illegal cattle operation that started all of this was clearly just the surface of something much bigger. This trailer hints at deeper secrets still buried beneath everything we have learned so far, including the very real possibility of cartel connections tied to Mariano that could drag every single character into a conflict far larger than anything happening on the ranch itself. If Joaquin's phone call really did pull his father back into this story, the danger heading into this finale may not just come from Rob Will. It could come from forces with far more power and far less mercy. So here is where I land on all of this. I think this finale ends with at least one major character not surviving. And given how deeply this trailer ties Rob Will's downfall to Wes's body finally being found, I believe his arrest or his death is the centerpiece of this episode. I think Beulah is forced into the most painful choice of her life, deciding whether to protect Beth and Rip or expose them to save her own legacy, and I do not think that choice comes without devastating consequences either way. And if Mariano truly is alive, I believe his reveal as El Padrino is the twist this finale is building toward, one that does not just end this season's war, but opens the door to an even more dangerous one heading into season 2. So that is my full breakdown of this trailer. Who do you think survives El Padrino, and who do you think does not make it out alive? Do you believe Mariano is still alive and pulling strings from the shadows? And do you think Beulah will choose her ranch over Beth and Rip when it finally comes down to it? Let me know all of your predictions in the comments because this finale is clearly setting up to be one of the most explosive episodes this show has ever delivered. If this breakdown helped you piece everything together, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you the moment this finale actually airs.